All right. Hi, everyone. We are live. So let's see. We're going to begin with Aztec Astrology of the week with the day signs for each day. So, yeah. So, if anybody's here, go ahead and say hello. Hey, Elizabeth. Oh, I need to talk to your sister. La otra brujita. We need to link up for something that I have a project coming up for her to be a part of. It's pretty much yeah, Samantha. Which one, right? Which bruja? um, so I'm gonna start to do a kind of like hosting a live chat with people who are holistic health practitioners as well as spiritual practitioners and spiritual teachers. And so, okay, yeah, for sure. Yeah, and so I want to do this because I want to share, different points of view when it comes to spirituality as well as holistic health and healing and things like that. And so I want to interview the people that I know personally first, and then of course I'm going to open it up to any other practitioners out there who wish to just share what they do as well as their gifts and things like that. And of course, more than anything, how to contact them and arrange a schedule an appointment, things like that. So that's what I want to do. And so, yeah, so I want to interview your sister because I know she has amethyst hands. And I always trust her with mediumships in particular because she's really cool with like connecting to crossed over loved ones and stuff like that. And of course, she's a healer as well. So I want to start giving the audience who is watching, who follows my my videos and who subscribe to this channel, an opportunity to really see who's out there and really see who they connect with, as well as if you are a practitioner yourself, get the word out pretty much about what you're here to do. So yeah, Elizabeth. Yeah. And Elizabeth, I mean, come on, like we're waiting for you too, Bruja number 3. So you're very sensitive too, very much in tune with the emotional body and learning exactly what to do or what to say to people for healing purposes. So I'm waiting on you to start connecting with your intuition too. She's like, I'm still tuning in. No pressure. But yeah, so that's if you guys are interested in getting interviewed by me, shoot me an email at StariAri333@gmail.com and we can set up a day where we can go live to talk about talk about what you're here to do, what your gifts are, and if you have a business page, share that, or a website, things like that, and whatever it is that you offer to humanity. So yeah, so anyway, we're going to begin the Aztec astrology portion of this, and then we're going to move on to energy healing. Okay, so for today's October 13th. Okay, so today we still are within the trecena or 13-day period of Quetzalcoatl, which is lizard. So I have some little cue cards here or some, oracle cards to show you like how that looks like. So that's the lizard down there. So Quetzalcoatl lizard. I don't have the particular one that says Quetzalcoatl. I only have lizard one. I don't have a deck that has every single day sign, only this one. So anyway, Quetzalcoatl is all about, getting to really analyze things. Okay, so there's a lot of like kind of like chaotic energy right now. There's a lot of it's about really making sure that we are rationalizing, and there's going to be a lot of intensity within this 13-day period of irrational things or feelings like emotional distress and things like that, confusion, anything like that that is really making you think about what the root cause of these issues are within you, or within the dynamics between you and other people in relationships. Okay, so Lizard's all about that, about really looking at that, and really just focusing on the inner work that needs to be done. Okay, so that you can really move forward, from what it is that you have been, trying to heal. Okay, so that being said, today's day sign, or the energy of the day, the tonali, is the number 10, Akato, or its read. Okay, so this is how it looks like with the little oracle card. So Akato read, and the number is 10. So we're going to talk about the tone according to the Zolkin, regarding the number 10. So number 10 is all about manifesting, okay, manifestation. When you look at the tarot, the number 10 is like you're manifesting that reality to its fullest. It is the last cycle or the ending of something, and is also the beginning of something new, okay? So you're at that in-between energy of really releasing things that no longer serve you to allow new things to begin, okay, or new expressions of the life that you desire to commence. Okay, so that being said, number 10 itself is about that. It's in the in-between energy before you take that leap of faith to move forward with your life. Okay, so we are in a very powerful manifestation period today with the number 10. So remember to always be in gratitude around this energy, because this brings in beauty, this brings in substance, as well as expression of the potential reality that you want to create. Okay, and so again, it's kind of important to be mindful today about what it is that you want to bring in. Okay, not necessarily to concentrate on what you don't have, or in a negative context, I would say what you're lacking. It's more about being in gratitude, knowing and trusting that this reality is gonna exist someday. Okay, and so that's what the tonali akato, number 10 in particular, brings to us. Okay, for the actual day sign akato read, it is governed by the god Tezcatlipoca, who is the black smoking mirror, who is the lord of karma. Okay, so akato is all about just the fate of your life, okay, and how it stands. Is definitely all about releasing the old to bring in the new, seeking justice to balance what has been, what has you have been thinking that was an unjust, and then of course, in a balanced way, not just going after someone and attacking them. It's more like resolving any issues, coming to terms with what happened, as well as really taking responsibility for your own role in what happened. Okay, and so because Tezcatlipoca is in charge or governs this day in particular as the lord of karma, he is always going to teach us more about the words that we say to other people, as well as the actions that we take or we do not take. Okay, so he's going to bring in that information through trials, through, expressions of just, I would say arguments sometimes, or even pleasantries, things like that. And so that we understand that we are in charge of, creating these outcomes sometimes, or creating these things that happen within our relationships with other people. If we are silent, if we allow people to walk all over us, or even if we stand up for ourselves, what is the outcome of that? And so that's what Tezcatlipoca brings today, to understand that better. All right. And so we're the Lord of the Night for this. Let me just show you the card for Tezcatlipoca. So that's the black smoking mirror. So the Lord of the Night for tonight is the rain god Tlaloc. Okay, Tlaloc is a rain god, and he is definitely a god that is like, in the ancient Aztec culture, they worshipped him and they really praised him for all the assistance that he had with their crops, with bringing about purified water to drink from, as well as with even creating floods and messing their crops up because of the floods, or bringing pestilence when it comes to waterborne diseases and things like that. And so he had a dual nature in the eyes of the Aztec. And therefore today, because he is the Lord of the Night for today, he has a dual nature too, because of what's going on in your environment. So if you want to really dig deeper on any type of conflicts, or trying to resolve any issues between yourself and other people, then you can ask Tlaloc tonight to come in and to assist you with really seeing the whole story, or the bigger picture, really seeing and being honest about your role, as well as other people's part in what's going on in your life right now, especially if it's conflict related. And so he is definitely someone to bring about for that, because he is a water god, or a rain god. He is also all about purifying yourself. Okay. And so water is purifying, it purifies the emotional body in particular. So if you do have to release anything, you can definitely release it with the assistance of Tlaloc, to just kind of like purifying or cleansing your energy, and emotional body, I would say, through crying, through release in that way, that will help you with finally feeling like a sense of relief in so many ways too. Okay, so today it's definitely an intense day, but it's definitely well worth having the time to really analyze and really see, your role in all of this. Okay, so yeah. Hi guys, hi Lizzie, hi Lady Rainstar. All right, so next one is, we're going to go into day 14. So day 14, we're still under the lizard, the 13-day period of lizard, or Quetzalcoatl. And so we have the day sign is Ocelotl, okay, which is jaguar, or ocelot, because there is an actual animal that is an ocelot. It's a cute little, it looks like a mini jaguar, I would say. So anyway, so it's the 11th day. Okay, so the 11th day is about resolutions. Okay, so this is about potential for change, potential for resolutions, for really working things through with whomever you had an issue with, and or even finding a resolution to any hardship that you might be having in your life right now, financial, love related, things like that. Okay. And so it's definitely all about improving your life. Okay. That's what the 11 represents. It's an improvement of your circumstances through action taking. Okay, through really making a plan of action to resolve your issues. Okay, and communication as well. So if you have to communicate your needs and your wants and desires to someone, as well as your emotions and how you feel, then it's a perfect day to do that tomorrow. Okay, so ocelotl, which is jaguar or ocelot, is governed by Tlazoteotl. And so this day is good for definitely working through things. Okay. So you might feel a little bit of resistance or hesitation internally as well as with others to try to really come together and resolve any problems that you might have with one another. You might feel a little bit more of like, really, you might feel like driven to take action at the same time because of that hesitation or uncertainty within you. So it's definitely a very good day for you to really think things through and really come from your heart space and express what you feel and what you think. Okay, so because it's governed by Tlazotelt, Tlazotelt is the goddess of, or represents the Earth Mother, okay? She is the goddess of filth, okay? That means that she cleanses us of our filth, meaning that she purifies us of our sins. Okay. So she is a healer goddess, an earth goddess, divinity, who is also affiliated with fertility, human fertility in particular. Okay. With sexuality. So anything to do in that realm of energy, especially with sexual energy, she'll help you through release of that, healing of any type of sexual issues that you might have had, in the past or in the present moment. And so that's what she represents, is the cleansing and the purification of the spirit, of the sexual energy within you, as well as of she kind of like is the initiator or the purifier for ceremony and initiation as well. Okay, for Toltec shamans, for me in particular. So we always call her in before ceremony to purify our spirits, to purify our energy before we have to do the work that we have to do. Whether it is healing or assisting with healing for other people, or doing our ceremonies that we have, it's pretty much daily. So yeah, that's what she's associated with. So that being said, she'll definitely assist you with that, with really coming back to center, especially if you have to have a conversation with someone that is hesitant, like in having or divulging this information to you, or any type of just conflict. Okay, she'll purify your energy, she'll purify yourself so that you can come back to center, meaning connect to your heart space and speak truth with compassion. Okay, so the Lord of the Night, or let me just show you guys the card of Tlazotl. So this is how she looks like in the oracle card deck. So anyway, the Lord of the Night for tomorrow night is Sutekatli. Okay, so this is how it looks like. And this one is the old, the turquoise lord, or the Lord of the Year, the god of fire. Okay, so it's like grandfather fire. That's what I usually call him. So, because I know like it's like really difficult to remember these names. But if you remember, the energy of fire, you could just say, I bring in the energy of fire, or the energy of the old god of fire, or grandfather fire. Okay. So He is the Lord of the Night. So the Lord of the Night is definitely someone that will assist you with shadow work. So if you have anything to do or wanting to purify in so many ways, when it comes to, anything happening in your life, he's going to assist you with that. He also is represents in so many ways the energy or the energy of spirit or divinity. Okay, and so he is definitely linked with the new fire ceremony in ancient Aztec culture. Every time 52 years had passed, and it's usually at the Acatl to Acatl time frame, they would have a fire ceremony of purification. So they would light fires everywhere and just, it's kind of like your new year, right? Getting rid of the old in order to bring in the new year, right? But this is 52 years. So you're bringing in the new 52-year period, okay? And so he'll protect the fires and the flame from going out. Okay, it'll drive any and all negativity away from the people that are seeking to purify themselves. He'll release all the negative energy through purification and transmutation. Okay, so for that night, you can ask him to assist you with that, with assist you with purifying your energy, releasing any negativity within you or around you, so that you can be ready for, the morning to come, the morning that is going to be a brand new day, brand new adventure, things like that. So that's what he will assist with. Okay. So the next one is the 15th. What's that? Lizzie. I was literally reading about my fortune, Pisces and Spirit Libra signs yesterday. Awesome. All right. So for the 15th of October, we're still on the 13-day period of the lizard. And this is the 12th day of the 13-day period. Okay, so we're almost at the end of the 13-day period. And so this is the Tonali 12, Kuatli, which is eagle. Okay, eagle. So that being said, we have the 12 represents patience in this cycle. It represents, not patience. It represents understanding. Well, you know what? Patience and understanding, it goes hand in hand. So that's what it represents. So this is really acknowledging about kind of like really taking responsibility. Okay, it's about understanding where things are coming from, especially when it comes to your emotions. Where are they being triggered? Who's triggering them? And what does that remind you of? If there's a person in your life right now who is triggering something within you, and it kind of reminds you of a person that you used to know from the past, then that's your trigger point that you need to explore. All right, so this is all about learning as well as about teaching. Okay, and it's also about information and gathering information as well as expressing the wisdom that you've gathered. Okay, and so that being said, the 12, it really comes together in that sense of the word of really expressing knowledge and wisdom that you've learned beyond from past relationships and past circumstances, and so that you become the teacher in this present moment for anyone else who's going through something similar that you've gone through in the past. Okay, and so this is kind of a good number for those who are spiritual practitioners or spiritual teachers, even teachers themselves who are in the classroom teaching kids, where this is pretty much your day. like, oh, I've made these mistakes before, I've learned from them, and now I'm applying the knowledge that I've learned, and I'm assisting other people uh do the same. Okay, so that's what the eagle, the number 12 represents. So the eagle Huatli is governed by the god Sipetotec, who is one of the creator gods. So this one is all about freedom and equality. Okay, this is what Huatli represents. The eagle represents freedom and equality. It represents the day of the warriors of Huitzilopochtli. Huitzilopochtli is the god of war for the Aztecs. He was actually the primary god for the Aztecs, because in the legend of the migration, or the Great Migration of the Aztecs to Mexico City, they were led by this god Huitzilopochtli, who is the warrior god, or the warring, what is it? Was it a hummingbird? Okay, he's a hummingbird. So yeah, so that's what it's kind of like, making sure that we keep with the present age, with what's going on, and as well as with fighting for freedom and equality for all. Okay, and through the knowledge that you have learned from your own suppressive cycles, meaning suppressors, as well as suppressive cycles that you've probably gone through, anything that made you really evaluate or really acknowledge your value and empower you. And that's what this day represents, as an empowerment thing. Okay, so it's really all about helping others see their light, see their own power, so that they can persevere and move forward with their lives. Okay, not feeling like victims anymore. All right, so anyway, the god of the night for tonight, or that night on the 15th, is Itzli. So Itzli is the obsidian god, or the god of stone. Itzli is one of the faces, or one of the variations of the god Tezcatlipoca, who is the lord of karma. Itzli is definitely one of the stronger faces of Tezcatlipoca, because he kind of is very much intense. Okay, he really does reveal the truth, and he cuts through the bullshit pretty much. I always see him like that. He's always like cutting through the bullshit. Like, he's always just like, you need to acknowledge this, or you need to really understand this about yourself, and this about that person or that person, so that you can understand or remain in integrity. Okay, so it's really hard for a lot of us, especially when we're seeing so many people who are not living their truth, or are not really walking their talk, right? And so he pretty much puts you on check, like, make sure that you're doing that. So I like him because of that. But yeah, so he's going to assist you with that, really seeing through any facade, really seeing people for who they really are, if they are manipulating you or not, and really acknowledging that. Okay, so anyway, the next day sign is the last one of this 13-day period of the lizard. Okay, and this is Guzcahuatli, and this is the vulture. Okay, the vulture. All right, so this is for the 16th of October, and so it's 13. 13 is definitely a very important number for the Aztecs. Okay, the number 13 was revered. The number 13 represented ascension. Okay, so the highest form that a human can take, okay, in the spiritual realms, all right, ascension in moving beyond limitations, moving beyond anything that has been constructed to places in fear or places in the mentality of not acknowledging the oneness of creator. Okay, so number 13 is super, super important, and because of this, it provides an energetic connection between what's been and what is. Okay, and so kind of like bridging the gap between worlds. Okay, that's what it really does represent. It's an ascension tone. Okay, in the Zolkin. Okay, so that being said, the vulture, he represents kind of like signifies the long road towards enlightenment. He also signifies the road towards wisdom, as well as acknowledging, you or yourself as the spirit guide that you are here in the physical reality that we're in. And then he's also all about mental equilibrium, okay, or balancing the mental body, okay. And so the energy that governs him, or the god that governs him, it's Papaloto. And it's Papaloto, I think I don't have the actual card, but it's supposed to be a butterfly or obsidian butterfly. Okay, so this is the best I can do. So that's Itzpapaloto. And so Itzpapaloto represents purification and rejuvenation through sacrifice. Okay, so it also represents allowing yourself to release. Okay, allowing yourself to move beyond or transcend, okay, beyond your limitations or your perceived limitations. Okay, and because of that, it's a very powerful energy to work with. And so that's why it's important to really acknowledge who you are in the sense of your spirit, where you've been, what you've gone through in the physical world as well as in the spirit world, and really acknowledge the intuition that you have, the gifts that you have to share. Okay, and the wisdom, of course, that you have to share. So the Lord of the Night for this night is Blitzitecutli, and this is the represents the physical planet Mercury. So he is called the youthful Lord, and he is also the little brother of the sun. It's just a lot of like connections to the solar deities as well, and so they kind of connected him to a sun too, like a small version of a sun, because again, the Aztecs didn't have the technology that we have today, and so he kind of, because he's so close to the sun, they thought he was burning up just like the sun at some point in time. Okay, so anyway, he represents just communication as well as evaluation. Okay, and because he was the son of the first humans, the first man, the first woman, he's also represented as the youthful Lord. Okay, so he is the one that brings us knowledge of creation. He's the one that definitely gives you communication regarding your Akashic or regarding your past lives, things like that. Okay, so that night you can call him in to just really go towards or understand what you've done before, and bring that back into this reality so that you can work with that knowledge to assist yourself in creating the life that you want, as well as to assist other humans in empowering themselves, and then therefore creating the life that they desire. Okay, so he's definitely one of those creator gods that is going to be assisting you with that information. Okay, so we're done with that 13-day period of the lizard. So we're moving on for October 17th. We begin a new 13-day period, which is Olin, okay, or movement. Okay, I have it right here. let me see. So here's Oli, movement. So what it is, it takes like the form of a wheel. So it usually looks like this right here. Okay. So with an actual eye in the middle. Okay. That's how it usually looks or is depicted in art. So this day is a brand new day. It's a brand new start. So we're going back to number one. Okay. So number one is the day, Olin. And so number one is the energy of creation. Okay. It loves to create. Okay. It loves to unify with other energies to create something new. So this tone moves very quickly through energy as well as using other energies to create something new. Okay. It's it's a very fast moving and assertive energy. And it's also relentless in its movement. So you cannot stop the movement of Olin, okay, or the movement energy, okay. So this is kind of like the tone or the energy that was brought forth from creation or from creator. So the first creation, okay, and that's what it represents, the number one. And so and it's whole on its own, but it does use other creations to create. Okay, so that's why it moves from one to two. Two energies create combined together to create number three, things like that. So anyway, so that being said, um, this day is governed by Soloto, and the energy is all about purified hearts, new beginnings. It does signify movement forward for everyone. So if you have plans that you want to implement or put into play, this is going to be the perfect time to do that. Okay, so it's going to be the perfect time to take action on what it is that you're wanting to create. Any type of goal setting that you've had, it's time for you to take action on this day. Okay, so this one's governed by Solotl, who is Venus as the evening star. Okay, who was the lord of the, or the he kind of is the twin of Quetzalcoatl, which is one of the creator gods. So Solotl looks like a dog. So I don't have him as a dog here. It's just like a shooting star, pretty much. So in the Aztec mythology, Venus was considered a star because, they did have a lot of that they could see Venus as its trajectory go through the sky. So it represented the evening star in Aztec mythology. And so that being said, it is depicted like a dog, like deity. It's also, all about health. Okay, so here we are kind of being asked to really watch ourselves, our health, as well as our mental health, our emotional health, our physical health. Okay, because Soloto can be the god that brings you to your deathbed. Like he is the one that represents, I would say, in like when you think about death in the Christian term of things, he pretty much represents that, who guides you to the underworld. Okay, so dogs themselves in mythology, in Aztec mythology, were your guides and guardians through the underworld, Mictlan. All right. So you can meet the god of the underworld. Okay. So that's what he represents. So making sure that you're in good health is important because, again, he kind of like is hovering over you like, hey, if you're not in good health, I'm going to take you to the underworld. So it's like death. Okay. So, so he's all about new beginnings. Okay. So this day is all about new beginnings, making sure that you are definitely ready to transform your life for the better. Okay. Again, like I said, if you had any plans that you wanted to implement, it's perfect time to do so. Okay. So like, for example, if you wanted to start losing weight or eating more healthier, things like that, it's definitely a good time to do that. All right. So the Lord of the Night for this night is Seteotl. So Seteotl is the Lord of Maize or the Lord of Corn, and he is also called the Hairy Lord. And so he's definitely all about bringing sustenance to the world. And he's also associated with the stars or the star cluster of the Pleiades in the Taurus constellation, okay, and constellation of Taurus. The Pleiades actually had a big role to play in Aztec astrology and Aztec mythology itself, even in Toltec, wisdom, because it feels like, well, actually, when you go to Mexico, if you've ever gone to Teotihuacan, you will see that there's the temples that are aligned in like a row like that. So the first one that you'll probably see when you go into the entryway is the Temple of Quetzalcoatl, and then you'll walk to the left and you'll see the Temple of the Sun as well as the Moon. I call them temples because the indigenous people of Teotihuacan told me that they're temples because they're not pyramids. They said pyramids come to a point, just like the ones in Egypt, and therefore they're not pyramids because they don't come to a point. They're flat. They're flat on top, okay? And so they call them temples, all right? So I'm just letting you know that's what they told me. So anyway, that's because that's where they worshiped, okay? And so in the temple you worship, all right? So anyway, so that straight line, you can see, if you look to the right, you can see the Pleiades cluster, and it does point to it, and it's also representing the path of the dead or the road of the dead. So that's what it represents. That path represents that, okay, through the temples, okay. So if you guys ever go to Mexico, to Teotihuacan, you'll learn about that. So that's what Seteotl, not Seteotl, but Seteotl and Quetzalcoatl represent that, the grouping of the star cluster of Pleiades. Okay, so if it has there's these legends that supposedly we came from the stars, and some of them, a lot of the Toltec wisdom or a lot of the translations do translate to the Pleiades in particular, that star cluster, that our gods came from that particular star cluster, okay, as well as Orion's belt, because the alignment of the temples are in alignment with the belt, the Orion belt stars, okay, and so that's really important to know. All right, so Sendeotl will help with nourishing your soul. So whatever it is that you're seeking to nourish yourself with, whatever it is that you feel that you're missing, he'll provide that information to you. Okay. So if you feel like you need motivation to change your life or change the way that you react to things, or really heal things about yourself, or healing relationships with other people, things like that, then he'll provide the sustenance necessary or the wisdom necessary to commit to that. Okay, so that's what that is going to represent for Saturday. Okay. You're welcome, Alexandria. Thank you so much for purchasing the bracelets. Tina, I love hummingbirds. Yeah, me too. It's funny. So I was kind of exploring that because when I went to get initiated for Toltec shamanism, I was like, why is Huitzilopochtli considered the god of war, and he's a hummingbird, right? And I was just like, what's going on with that? And then one of the guides, one of the indigenous people, he's Nahuatl, by the way, Nahuatl Indio. So he was explaining, he's like, have you ever watched a hummingbird try to chase away other birds and other hummingbirds from the nectars that they eat in the flowers, and that's their their environment or whatever, their territory? Have you ever seen that? And I'm like, no, I've never seen that. And sure enough, months later, when I went to go do a ceremony in Arizona, where I was staying at, because it's in the middle of the desert, The house that I was staying at was filled with hummingbird little nectar things hanging from trees and stuff like that. And I was outside just because I was like, you know what? I want to observe them. So I went outside and I watched one little tiny hummingbird was drinking the nectar, and then all of a sudden this other hummingbird swoops down and starts chasing it away. And starts just chasing it away, and then he goes and like kind of sits there like flapping his wings and eating the nectar, and then another one comes nearby and he chases that one away, and I'm like, holy shit, they're little vicious creatures, dude. No wonder the Aztecs like took them in as their god of war. So yeah, it makes total sense. They're badasses. They're like this tiny, but they can still like chase other birds away. It's pretty funny. So for October 18th, for Sunday, yes, it's Sunday. Okay, so we have we're still in the Olin 13-day period. Let me find Olin again. Where the heck did I leave it? Oh, whatever. You guys know how it looks like. So the only 13-day period, and we're on the day number 2, okay? And this is Tecpatl, which is flint knife, okay? And so with that being said, we're going to talk about the tone, or number 2 itself. It's duality. It represents duality, 2 energies. Okay, so this is all about challenges, decisions, as well as changes. Okay, it also brings about challenges in the way that we need to really release any old limiting belief that we may have about ourselves, about our lives, about other people, about society, about religion, about whatever it is. Okay, we need to release that. Okay, we are being challenged to release old patterns, old addictions, old toxic traits, even toxic people. We're going to be challenged to release that and let those things go, so that we can have a better chance in life, so we can definitely build the life that we want. Okay, and the emphasis is on change for the good or for the better. Okay, for you in particular. Okay, and so that being said, that's what 2 represents, and that's what Tecpatl, the knife, the flint knife, represents too, because Tecpatl is all about cutting to the root of the issue. Okay, Tecpatl, or flint knife, was one of the sharpest tools in in the ancient times, in the ancient worlds, before they started to dig up other like metals and things like that to create swords and knives and things like that. So a flint knife, a knife made out of flint, was really, really, really sharp. Okay, and so it represents that cutting to the root of the issue, cutting to the root cause of our problems. Okay, so that we can release and move on. So this is definitely shadow work that has to be done. Okay, so it is governed by the goddess. Where are you, goddess? Oh, here we go. All right. Chalchi, Huitoltolin, who is the god, who is the jeweled fowl. So it's a turkey-looking being, and he is definitely a one of the Tezcatlipoca's faces, or actually it's what we call Nawa, who is an animal guide. Okay, so this being brings us a chance for healing, and it's also supposed to be the representative of Tezcatlipoca's sorcery and magic, in the physical sense, where it's definitely represents the temptation of this type of energy for humans. Okay, so it's a temptation type of energy to either remain in toxic cycles, or remain the same, or learn from them and move on. Okay, so this being will tempt you to either be lazy, or just forget about your resolutions, or forget about your needs and your wants, or having those conversations that are difficult with other people, or letting people go, things like that. He'll try to tempt you towards that, and try to lure you towards a different road. Okay, so just watch out for that. Okay. So for that, for the Lord of the Night for this day is Mictlan Tecutli, who is the god of the underworld. All right. So he rules Mictlan. Okay. That is the underworld. And so he is the god who rules the god or the realm of the dead. And in the underworld, there's different layers to it. Okay. So depending on how you died, you go to a different layer. Okay, so there are layers for people who died during childbirth. Like there's a world for those people. There's a world for young kids that probably died when they drowned or something, because they did have a lot of issues with drowning, especially the Aztecs, because of where they lived. They used to live on a lake. So yeah, they had a lot of those situations that happened, unfortunately. So anyway, there's different layers to the underworld depending on how you pass. Okay, so that being said, he really does help you dive deeper into any situation or any issues that you may have. It's kind of like he represents the Scorpio energy. Okay, so again, in Aztec mythology and in Aztec astrology itself, Pluto never existed. The planet Pluto does not exist because at that time the technology did not allow them to see the planet with the naked eye. Okay, so the only planets that they would see are the inner planets. So I think they have Saturn. Okay, I think that's as far as they went, is with Saturn. Okay, and so those are the inner planets, and the outer planets they couldn't see because again they didn't have the technology for that. So Pluto doesn't exist. Scorpio is actually represented by Mars. Okay, by the planet Mars. So that being said, this is definitely a time to really seek understanding, as well as really dive deeper into shadow work, into working with what's going on internally. Again, toxic traits, anything that you need to let go of, anything that you need to release so that you can have a better life. Okay, so that's what Mictlan Tecutli is going to help you with really seeking a resolution to issues and really moving forward with a better outlook on your life. Okay, so next one, and this is the final day, it's for Monday, the 19th. So we're still in the Trecena, or the 13-day period of Olin movement, and we are on number 3, action, or Tonali, day number 3, rain. Okay, so Quihuitl is rain. Okay, so we are in the energy of rain. Number 3 represents action. Okay, it represents activity, it represents happiness, it represents joy, it represents communication and movement too. Okay, so this day is a good day for communication. Okay, this day is definitely connected to the planet Mercury in that sense of communication. It is also about expressing yourself and stirring the pot, and not being afraid to stir the pot too, because rain is all about cleansing and removing any type of hesitation that you might have about like the way that you are perceived, as well as any hesitation that you might have with regards to the way that you represent yourself in public. Okay, so this is definitely going to be unpredictable, but as long as you stay truthful to who you are, you'll be fine. Okay, so this is governed by the god Tonatiuh. Okay, the sun. Tonatiuh, the sun, the old sun. So like I said before, in Aztec mythology, there are 5 suns. Okay, 5 gods for each sun. Okay, and this one's actually the physical sun. All right, Tonatiuh is the physical representation of the sun. All right, so he will help you with taking action. Okay, so it's fire energy, about movement forward, taking action, making sure that you remain who you are and not hesitate. Don't hesitate. Don't feel like you have to stop being yourself or stop expressing the things that you want to express because you're going to be judged by it, things like that. So it's all about staying true to you and your nature. Okay. So that's what the sun god represents too. So for the night, the Lord of the Night, we're gonna have the goddess, she of the jade skirt, or Chalchihuiticlu. So goddess of water. Okay, that's what she is called, she of the jade skirt. So she's all about, she's a goddess of birth, a goddess of women, as well as is associated with waterways and purified water in particular, for sustaining life. Okay. And she was the counterpart of Tlaloc, the god of rain. So she was the wife of Tlaloc, and she was also the mother of the lunar god, the Chitecatl. Okay. So she's going to help you with anything with the feminine, anything about nurturing, anything about feminine qualities, anything about like creation, as well as motherhood, mothering. So if you have any issues with a divine feminine, with another feminine in your life, she'll assist you with resolving those issues. She'll assist you to really look deep within yourself regarding, if you're rejecting your own feminine qualities, or if you have rejected your emotions, because the feminine quality will be your emotions, will be your intuition, would also be your creativity. Okay, that's what feminine quality represents. Okay, it's not just being a girl or a woman, it is all of those things. Okay, so if you have had issues with a feminine in your life, someone who represents the matriarchy, the feminine, the mother, then she'll help you solve those issues, as well as solve the issues that you have within you because of those problems with that feminine. Okay, so any type of lack of connecting to your emotions, or even understanding them better, or rejecting your emotions, that'll be helped with her, as well as creativity. So creativity will be artistic pursuits such as music, dancing, painting, pottery, and jewelry making, candle making, anything that you make with your hands, anything that you make with your talents, as well as intuition. Okay, anything that is extrasensory, meaning that it's beyond the five senses. Okay, so psychic abilities, things like that. So she'll assist you with that, as she is the Lord of that night. Okay, so that's all I have for the Aztec astrology for this week. So yeah. A vulture. Let's see. Zacatecas, yeah, the state in Mexico. Yeah. My family comes from Sinaloa, and that's in the west side of Mexico. It's a coastal area. That's where there's a lot of, it's a beach pretty much. And there's a lot of vacation houses. It's really expensive now. I remember when I was a kid and we'll just go there, and it was like super like not even like full of people, and it's just like super cheap to buy everything. And now it's like, holy shit, if you even look at like staying there for like a week or so for like Airbnb, it's like skyrocketed, like the prices and stuff like that. And it's also the place where the like one of the cartels come from. Okay, so I'm just throwing that out there. So just, if you're gonna go visit Sinaloa, make sure you're careful. Okay. So yeah, so that's where my family comes from. But I do have family that lives in Guadalajara. which is the state of Jalisco. And then I do have people who live in Baja California, and the city is La Paz. And then Cabo San Lucas, which is at the very tip of the Baja California peak, or whatever it's called, the tail there. So I do have family everywhere. And then I do have friends in Mexico City, and, and just everywhere pretty much. And then I do have relatives that live in Nayarit, that state as well as I visited Guanajuato, where they have the mummies. So I've been like everywhere. So anyway, I'm going to start the energy healing. So I do have Maxine, who is for an energy healing tonight. So Maxine, if you are here, let me know. Let me check if... Okay, Maxine. So let me know if you're here. Oh, you never heard of Zacatecas? So I've never been there, but I've heard of it. And I know there's a lot of people who I ran into who are from there. When I used to live in California, and they're very friendly, but very outgoing people. Like, they're very like, hey, let's go, like, party. Hey, you're part of the family. Like that. I always see them as that, like those very outgoing people, very friendly, very welcoming type of people. So I'm always like in amazement, because there's a difference between them and people, say, in Mexico City. Like, the people in Mexico City, the ones that I've met from Mexico City, are a little bit stuck up. I would say, like, they do turn their noses to the words that you say. Like, they correct your when you're saying something. Like, I am fluent in Spanish, but there's some words, like, my vocabulary is limited. Okay. So there's some words that mean the same thing, just like in English, there's some words that translate to the same thing. Right. And so they're a little bit uppity about that. So if you're talking to them, they use like different words, because they're just like, I'm so educated and uppity. Like, at least that's what my experience has been with those from Mexico City in particular. And so I really, like, they're still nice people, but again, it just really does depend, I guess. There's Maxine. All right. So yeah. So, but they're, of course, like, they're going to be like, if you guys go visit Mexico City, they're going to be kind, like, to tourists especially. And yeah, they're nice. But I've never really had a good experience in Mexico City. I've always got for example, last time I went was during my initiation, because we were hitting up Mexico City just to, like, connect with whoever it is that we had to connect with. And so I never really had a good experience there. Like, I always had like this negative experience there. Like, it's always been negative. Something always goes wrong. Okay. And so the first thing that went wrong was that they didn't have my luggage. Like, it went on a different flight or something like that. Like they were sending it to Mexico City, and I guess it arrived in Mexico City, and then they put it somewhere else or something like that. I don't know. They lost it. And so that was my worst, like, one of the worst things ever. And then another thing is that when I got to the airport, I was waiting in line in a taxi line or whatever. Okay, so I always recommend wait for a cab in those lines, like where you go to purchase a cab, like you go to the clerk in the station, and then you pay them like I think it's like about, it really just depends on where you're going. So you pay them, that's the fee that you pay, and that's it, right? And so I was waiting in those lines to pay, and this cab driver came up to me. He's like, "Hey, you know what? I could get you to wherever you want to go in the city for less or whatever and quicker." And I'm just like, "Okay, good deal," right? Me being naive. And so I went with him, and he started to charge me like for like he stopped. This motherfucker stopped to get gas, and he still was running the fucking meter. And I was so pissed. I was like, "What the fuck is he doing?" And so anyway, we ended up going to where I was supposed to go, like the hotel, and he ended up charging me like 300 pesos for the trip, and it was not even like a 5-minute drive from the airport, and he charged me that much. And then this asshole like was running the meter while he was putting fucking gas, and I was just like, this motherfucker. So I was just like, you know what, obviously he needs the money more than I do, so there it is, you know. And so that was like one of the that's the last time I went to Mexico City, and I was like, I don't think I'm ever going to come back here again. It's like I'm nothing but bad experiences here. So anyway, all right, Maxine. So we're going to go ahead and start your energy healing, and then we're going to be done for the night. Thank you guys again for watching. Oh, and I do have an announcement. So I'm going to be going live on the Peace Dealers channel this Friday. So if you guys aren't subscribed to the Peace Dealer yet, I highly recommend that you do subscribe, as well as click the notification bell so that you guys can know when we go live, because we don't really have a set time yet, but we know we're going to go live on Friday. That's all I know. Okay. So I'm going to give him his Aztec astrology report / reading during the live. Okay. So that you guys can get an idea as to how I do that. All right. And if you guys are interested in getting or booking your own reading, it's going to be an emailed reading. Okay. If you guys are interested, I have a 50% off sale going on right now until Libra season ends on the 22nd. So you guys can definitely go on my website and go under emailed readings and click on the Aztec astrology one. And it's only $40 from $80. And, you know, book that. And then, I'll send you your own personalized Aztec astrology reading with a PDF outlining the days and the year and all that stuff, so that you can have a better picture as to how that looks, as well as I'm going to need your information, just like if you get an astrology report. Okay, so I'm going to need your date of birth, time, and location. All right, so make sure you guys email me that information so I could, you know, get that started if you guys do book. All right, so yeah, so we're going to do it Friday. I'm going to do his so you guys can understand how that works. You guys see it for yourselves, and if you guys are interested, book before the 22nd, it's only $40. If you book after the 22nd, it's gonna be $80. So just letting you know, it's a good deal. All right, Maxine. So what I want you to do right now is go ahead and get ready. Create your medicine wheel, which is bringing in the 4 directions: north, south, east, west, the 4 elements, you know, water, air, fire, and earth. And then, of course, all of your guides and, you know, healing guides and things like that. And let me know when you're ready so we can begin. Okay. Oh. All right, awesome. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and connect to you, Maxine. So right outside your energy field, I'm looking at these colors. So it's like 3 colors. It's kind of like it goes from gold to orange to red. And then what I'm feeling in my physical body is kind of like your lower chakra region. A little bit of heaviness down there, a little bit of tension. And then here on the third eye and energy is kind of like something's opening up. It feels like something just opened wide. Okay, so one of your guides is like, ask her how she's been eating lately. So Maxine, how have you been eating lately? So it feels like you've been definitely overworked. It does feel like you haven't had time to really have a good meal. You've been rushed. It does feel like it is kind of like putting stress in your digestive tract because of it. Um, and possibly, have you been losing weight? Like, I feel like you've lost a couple of pounds because of the stress and the lack of eating, the lack of time to really enjoy a meal. Girl, you've been working a lot. It really is bringing stress into your body itself. Um, and then your heart, they're connecting. You're kind of pointing at the heart space too. They're saying she's overworked and underappreciated. And that is causing issues with you feeling like you're appreciated by other people. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and balance your chakras real quick. So we're going to start with I think we're going to start with the solar plexus because that looks a little bit active, and then we'll go up to the heart. The root and the sacral look good, but it's the solar plexus and the heart that they're trying to focus on today, and then of course the upper chakras. So go ahead and breathe in deeply, exhale slowly. We're going to bring in energy into the solar plexus, like cooling energy, kind of like water. Bringing it down into your crown, down into the solar plexus, and cleansing and clearing and cooling it to release anything and everything that might make you feel underappreciated, that might make you feel like things are just not moving forward the way that you want them. And especially with relationships to other people, also letting go of any type of feelings of neglect, any type of stress when it comes to being overworked. Cooling that down. Moving up to the heart space. In the heart, we're going to go ahead and use emerald energy, healing energy, coming into the heart space, releasing anything that no longer serves you in the heart space, allowing yourself to receive just as much as you give to others. I'm going to move that around into your arms and your hands as well, and your fingertips. Looking at the throat has been used, so it looks proper in its size and energy. And now we're going to move on to the third eye. So the third eye is all about the thought processes that you might have with regarding yourself and where you stand in your career, as well as with your relations to other, like the perspective that you have in relation to other people's point of view too, okay? So we're going to go ahead and bring in indigo energy into that area and release things that no longer serve you. Any limiting belief about your intuition and what you're here to do as a healer. Bringing in more light, more wisdom, and more confidence all the way down into the solar plexus. All right, we're bringing that indigo energy around your auric field as well. Repairing, cleansing, and clearing your auric field. And so that you can just trust yourself more, trust your intuition, trust your guidance, trust your gifts more. All right, Maxine, we're going to disconnect, cleanse, and clear. You gained a lot of weight. Okay. I feel like it's not like, I would say it's not like stuff that you can't like release or whatever. It feels like it's just water, like it's stress weight, water weight usually can be released if you start to work out a little bit, or even like choose different foods, like kind of like rejecting the grains and the sugars and bringing in more proteins. Because they're saying it's because like they showed me like use like kind of like this little energy instead of this, and so it's kind of like what was happening is you're not retaining weight in a healthy way. It's more water, so it's not real weight gain, it's more like bloating. Oh, you did do cardio today? Okay, good. So as soon as you start, working out a little bit more and eating like releasing sugars and releasing like any type of like carbohydrates and things like that are not good for you, like kind of like calorie intake has to be simplified to just protein and I would say cheese, protein, anything that's good for your gut. That's like concentration on that, because it doesn't feel like it's anything like fat. It feels like it's water, like retention. And usually water retention happens when we have stress, as well as if we're eating like complex sugars or any type of sodium rich foods, like high sodium food, so that you get like bloating in the face or in the arms or swelling, as well in the hands. Like they're showing like the hands kind of like that, but it's not something that it's gonna be hard to lose. That's what they're like saying. Okay, so veganism, it really does depend on how you feel with it. I would definitely see if you have, because I don't know if you take vitamins, if because like sometimes you can't find like the food that you eat with when you're a vegan, sometimes you're lacking certain vitamins. I don't know if you take supplements to replace the vitamins that you're not gaining or you're not getting from animal products, but I would recommend doing that. I wouldn't recommend changing your diet because of anything else. If you don't feel good with the diet, then I would recommend going to a nutritionist and really seeking out other means of or other different types of diets and stuff like that. But protein itself is found in anything and everything, like plants. There's plant protein, so I do recommend having a higher amount of plant protein coming in, even with I would say like lentils and beans will be a good source of that, as well as fiber. Okay, but reducing your intake of sugars or any type of complex sugars or any type of like that stuff, like as well as salt that's found in these things, will help. Like table salt, like Himalayan pink salt, and as well as like sea salt, that's fine to have with your meals. But anything that's high sodium, like drinks or foods that are baked or added sodium into them, I would stay away from that, because again, they're not showing that it's fat, they're showing that it's water. Okay. Okay, good. Okay, yeah, fish is fine. Yeah. Yeah. And then just um re- don't put too much salt on fish. I'm like, I'm like thinking about how I make fish, and I'm just like, shit, I put too much salt on my so yeah, do that. And then they're also kind of like emphasizing possibly looking at different approaches when it comes to making money, as well as like anything that'll help you reduce stress. Okay, because it feels like you're definitely being hit by it with energy, like lack of energy when you're done coming from work and stuff like that, as well as like, you probably being like, okay, I just need a break. Like that's what they're showing. Like you just need a break from what's going on. So definitely find other means or outlets to reduce stress, or even try to see if you can find or create something that you can do to reduce your time at work, like maybe going back to school for something that'll give you a better, work environment, or time frame or time period where you work or whatever, like a better schedule, or even creating your own business, like it feels like you're definitely ready for that step. It doesn't it, I think I feel like you're definitely ready to move forward with you being your own boss. So it does feel like you're kind of getting overworked, like big time. I'm a nurse working long night shifts. The energy there is intense. Yeah. Okay. So that makes sense. So yeah, you're retaining a lot of, and again, it's not fat. Like they're not showing fat. It's like, it's water weight. That's what it is. Like, it's like water weight that you could easily lose it like that. Like as soon as you start like working out and things like that, it's going to be gone like completely. And so you're lucky. You're lucky. But let's see. Okay. So yeah. So definitely look at different approaches. I know there's some nurses that are traveling nurses. I know there's some nurses that have their own like company, like it's kind of like you're like want to work whenever you want to work. Like PRN status, like yeah, like on call or something, or whatever else. So you can look at that, or even look at you becoming, a practitioner, like spiritual practitioner, and using your knowledge of anatomy as well as, health, to assist people who are, having issues with pain, having issues with body, issues, or even healing, things like that. So I feel like you're definitely ready for that step. It's just trusting the process, that it's kind of like having time as well, and trusting that you are definitely a healer. That's important. Okay. So yeah. So yeah. So that's what I have for you, Maxine. It's funny because every time I connect to like a healer's energy, I always get like these indicators in the hands, and I'm just like, oh, she's a healer, she's an energy healer. And you have like a bunch of it like just swirling around. You're like, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, so that's all I have, you guys. So that's all I have for this week, and I'll be live again at the Peace Dealers YouTube channel on Friday. So catch me then, and I'll see you guys next week. Love you guys. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Bye-bye.